So I cannot prove to the agnostic in a way that's going to make them satisfied that God exists, because they're too stupid to accept that what came first argument, and to wrap their minds around it and to behave accordingly. But I can prove to them that the principles of Satan are the God of this world. So first of all, let's define Satan to understand why his principles dominate the world, especially and first and foremost the upper class and then the middle class. So the devil is a liar according to the Bible, right? And Jesus accuses the Jews who betrayed him of being the children of the devil, who do the devil's desires. He said, you do the devil's desires. When he lies, he speaks his native tongue. Okay, and he also said, you know false prophets by their fruit, by their works, by their behaviors, by their motives, their aims, their actions. Okay. So let's also look at the popular culture. You have the movie The Devil's Advocate, you know, with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves, I believe it is. And you also have the Lucifer TV show. I don't watch it. I can't watch TV and so on and so forth. Can't watch videos. But you have these things. Well, I'm running out of time for whatever reason. They hacked my phone and said it's not very charged, even though it should be about full. All right, anyway, so let's just shoot through this. Okay. So who sits in the devil's seat? Okay. Well, corporations, right? The devil lies and abuses. Corporations and corporate partnerships. Okay, that's who sits in the devil's seat. Jesus said, you know, that the Pharisees at the time were sitting in Moses' seat. Okay, you know, whoever these Jewish guys were, Pharisees, Sanhedrin, whoever it was, and that you should do what they tell you to do that's in the Bible, but don't do what they do because they're the children of the devil. Okay, they're full of greed and self-indulgence like the devil. So look at the corporate partnerships. Okay, and the devil's characteristics, right? You have the devil is big and strong. The devil is the con man smoking. The devil is a sorcerer. Okay, pharmakeia, for the pharmaceuticals, means sorcery. And corporate partnerships often include pharmaceuticals, right? You have these grocery stores and these drug stores, and they sell various items, and they're part of chains, and they have corporate partnerships that allow for them to sell certain products in their store. Okay, so when someone's going to start a new company, people are like, okay, so, you know, who are you, right? What do you have to offer us? Where do you fit in? Where do you fit in the pre-existing satanic kind of structure? Okay, it's an anti-martial arts spirit. Now we're going to quickly come to the conclusion, Exodus 15:3, that the Lord is a warrior. He's not a Conan the Barbarian. That's like a demon, right? Demons are depicted as big and strong. They're brutes. They don't think straight. They don't think sharp. The sword of Scripture is a sharp, double-edged sword. David took on a brute Goliath, and so on and so forth. So it's not a big, strong brute. It is a martial arts spirit, not in Eastern martial arts, not Western. It's an African hero, kind of Martin Luther King, except for a martial artist. I'm from the royal family of Martin Luther King's tribe, the Igbos. Spirit, okay? It's sharper than Martin Luther King. It's more courageous, okay? It is a true warrior spirit. Martial art warrior in that sense, right? Surgical strikes, sharp strikes, okay? So we see that even in the ghettos, okay, the poor. If you ever go to Chicago or LA, you won't see at any of these schools, high schools, colleges, a single honorable martial artist who tells the truth and surgically strikes. I'm the last one left, because there's a sentiment in the poor communities that you should be a knucklehead, beat people up like a UFC fighter, or you're square, okay, which is like the corporations. Corporations are square. Some of them are knuckleheads that work with the UFC and so on and so forth, right? Big, strong corporate guys. Some are kind of skinnier frat guys. Some are shorter square guys, skinny square guys, kind of rounder square guys, what have you. Okay, you don't have, you know, when people know, when everyone in my generation knows that the people who have the most muscle definition, okay, generally speaking, basically were black people. So if someone said, hey, they're sabotaging me and reduce my tone, my muscle tone, and reduce my appearance, and they're black, to make it seem like these other races, we believe them right away. Because that's unheard of. Why make that up? And of course, we know there's a bunch of privileged white guys and English guys who play tennis and play water polo that try to pretend that they're superior. Eugenicists, scientific racists, what have you. Okay, so there is a certain rejection of the African martial arts spirit. Okay, specifically, they allow Asian martial arts, islanders, Native Americans to some degree, on and on and on, but they reject the African morally precise martial arts spirit. Okay, because that is the only spirit in which God's spirit will come. You'll see the countless people in the churches. If you explain to them, you're like, hey, you're not really worshiping God. A lot of them will say that they know that Satan, they're not allowed to say those things because Satan is the God of their church. They won't say in those words. They'll say, we're not allowed to say that. Okay, because they know that the corporate state controls the church. It's like in Rome. In Rome, the corporations funded the religious movements. And that's what allowed for the rise of Christianity. It was the governing class exceptions of Christianity, Constantine and the corporate groups. Okay, the word corpus, right, for corporation, right? And Justinian the First, it was like 500 AD or something. It was said to be the first example of the word corporation. So it's a Roman system. The people who killed Jesus, Satan is the god of this world. They reject the Royal African Falcon Martial Arts Spirit. They killed the black leaders while other groups were hardly doing anything. It was a black civil rights movement. They were doing a little something, right? But they weren't doing it to the degree in a universal way that Martin Luther King, for example, was. And African, they were doing it for their specific ethnic groups and not for everybody, right? And God is for everybody who does the right thing. So especially people enforcing racial and cultural barriers. Of course, they made it harder for me to articulate. These people are so bitch in this country that they made it harder for me to articulate my fucking point, even though I have no chance to overthrow the government. They're like sissy, kind of sensitive, homosexual pedophiles that refuse to do the right thing and they refuse to allow me my freedom of speech, even though they have so much technology and so many knuckleheads and so many groups that maintain the social order. Okay? Obviously, there's the children of the devil, and lying is their